This week, we visit Canvas Replacements, the country's leading manufacturer of replacement canvas and pop-up tent trailers. See what goes into making a brand new canvas tent. Then, Jeff Johnston shows us how to get a better and safer ride on your trailer with a little spring and axle modification. And Britta, our flamboyant Trailer Chicks cooker, invites a guest over to show us a quick and delicious Polish stew that's perfect for a cold winter day. All this and more on this week's Rolling On TV. Closed and Spanish captioning, where available, is sponsored by Jayco. At Jayco, we've been making family dreams come true since 1968. This week we take you to Loyal, Wisconsin. You know, dairy country, where they make all those great cheeses. But Loyal, Wisconsin is also home to Canvas Replacements, the leading manufacturer of pop-up tent camper canvas. I always wondered how someone can take an old canvas that looks like it came from the Civil War, all ripped and shredded, with pieces missing, and turn out an exact replica using today's modern materials. Well, we'll show you. To learn more, we met with Bob Gambich, President and General Manager, and asked him just how and when Canvas Replacements got its start.
We started in 1973 as a company. We had bought out a bunch of surplus materials from another camper company that went out of business in 1973, that was Tradewinds. Included in that inventory of miscellaneous hardware parts were a whole semi-trailer load of obsolete tent camper canvases. They were brand new canvases in bags that were for Tradewinds campers that had been made in 1963 and 64. And my dad and I thought those were pretty worthless, but we hauled them back here with the rest of the stuff anyway. And after a few weeks, people were calling the office at Tradewinds and being directed to us to get a new tent for their 10-year-old Tradewinds camping trailer. It began to dawn on us, God kind of beat it on my dad's head that this is kind of the direction you need to go. And over the next couple of years, we started specializing in selling replacement tent camper canvases.
It wasn't long until they started building their own canvas, as Bob goes on to explain.
But more and more, we expanded our sewing operations and started making new tents from scratch for ones that we couldn't find a source on. And over the years, we have, other companies have gone out of business, and we've just expanded on that. At this point, we can make a new tent for any camping trailer. And we have for, I think, back to a 1920-something cozy camp to campers that were made in the 2000s. That and all we need, at the most, all we would need would be the old canvas that we're replacing. And we have a staff that can take that apart, measure it, even if it's a rag, and duplicate it and make a new tent that fits perfectly.
And is it necessary to send the old canvas into the company for a pattern?
We have patterns for many of them. I would say in the majority of cases we do not need the old tent. Many times that's the best way to go to ensure a good fit, but it's not always needed. We have patterns or sources for literally hundreds and hundreds of different models. We already have all the information on file that we need to make the new tent for them.
What if we just needed a section of the old canvas replaced? Can that be done?
Yeah, we need the, if you're replacing just a section of a camper tent, we need more information so that we're able to match color, and the zipper in particular, where it zips to the rest of the tent. Different manufacturers use different sizes, brands, lengths of zipper, and we want to be able to, if at all possible, to put the correct zipper on the new piece so that you will be able to zip it right to your tent without an issue or problem of tooth count or zipper size or whatever.
And what about colors?
we can make a new tent usually we try to stay fairly close to the original color, if that's possible, if it's available. If a customer would like a different color, a gray instead of a tan, many times we can work that out with them. We do have several colors of material in stock that we work with all the time. And if we know what color they want, or if they need a sample of the colors that we have, we're happy to send that out and make it a different color if they like.
We'll get back to canvas replacement shortly, but coming up after the break, we'll join Jeff as he shows us how you can get a better and safer ride from your trailer.
It all starts with pride and ends up being the gold standard in pop-up truck campers. Four-wheel campers. Need we say more? See for yourself by visiting fourwheelcampers.com.
When it comes to RV glass and windshield replacement, there's only one name to remember: Duncan Systems. With thousands of windshields and side glass in stock, we are America's #1 source for RV glass replacement. And now, we can even repair those fogged up windows at a fraction of the replacement cost. For more information, including our locations, visit our website at rvglass.com or log on to rollinontv.com.
Safe and secure RV travel is the objective, and modifying your trailer's ride height may improve your towing time. If you tow a travel or fifth wheel trailer, you may be under the impression that your trailer sits a little bit too low. Well, this can be anything from a mechanical problem. For example, if you go through dips or bumps in the road, the back end of your trailer hanging too low can cause damage to low-hanging equipment like stabilizing jacks, the rear bumper, or even your plumbing, God forbid. Or it can simply be an annoyance that you don't think it looks very good. We're here at Hitch Pro and Tow in Eugene, Oregon, where the experts are going to be performing a lift job on a trailer. It can be a pretty simple process sometimes, and in this case, all they're doing is taking the axles from above the leaf springs and moving them below the leaf springs. This raises the whole trailer a few inches, gives a little bit more ground clearance, and frankly, it makes it look pretty good too. So let's follow along and see how it's done. Safety is always first with any shop project. The technicians at Hitch Pro start their job by supporting the trailer's frame with heavy-duty commercial jacks. All four wheels need to be off the ground during this job, and they're removed for easy axle manipulation. First, the U-bolts and spring plates come off and are set aside for reuse. It's a good idea to replace them with new hardware if they're too rusty or worn out. Removing the leaf spring main bolt allows the axle to be dropped from its original location and repositioned below the spring. This bolt uses a knurled retaining system that calls for some hammer encouragement to get things moving, especially when rusty or corroded. The leaf spring is simply reinstalled once the axle is removed. New leaf spring perches are placed loosely on the axle but not yet welded to allow accurate adjustment. Brian reassembles the U-bolts and retainer plate with the axle below the leaf spring. Next, he uses a tape measure to ensure the axle is positioned correctly. This includes the axle's rotation fore and aft as well as accurate side-to-side location. After tightening the hardware to specification, there's a final check of the axle position. Once the axle alignment is finalized, the new spring perch is welded in place. On the left is the original axle setup, and on the right, the new spring over axle arrangement. This shot illustrates the old axle height at left and the new position at right. A little bit of spray paint helps to deter rust and corrosion on the new hardware. When reattaching the brake wiring, it's a good time to inspect the overall wiring and make any changes needed to ensure reliability and secure electrical continuity. The rear stabilizer jack now has about 12.5 inches of clearance. Likewise, the plumbing has an honest 12 inches of ground clearance. That's good for peace of mind on uneven terrain. Right here at the wheel well, it's about 29.25 inches compared to what we had before. That's a healthy improvement in clearance. The finished trailer looks great and rides higher. This kind of lift may be just what your trailer needs too for safe and damage-free towing. For more information, see your local fabrication shop or log on to our website at rollinontv.com.
Is your pop-up camper canvas getting a little worse for wear? Don't fret. Just call the friendly folks at Canvas Replacements, and their experienced staff will cut and sew you up a new one in no time. Canvas Replacements, your #1 source for all your pop-up camper canvas needs. For more information, visit the company website at canvasreplacements.com or call them at 800-232-2079. At Jayco, we're a lot more than just an RV manufacturer. We're all about family, and we've been making family dreams come true since 1968. To see our complete product line and find your nearest Jayco dealer, visit us online at jayco.com or just log on to rollinontv.com.
Welcome back. As we saw earlier, there's a lot that goes into fabricating a brand new canvas for your tent trailer. And I'm still amazed at how that talented staff can virtually take a bunch of rags and meticulously measure and lay out an exact pattern for a new tent unit. Kind of reminds me of a museum restoring an artifact. I asked Bob to explain the various operations that go into making a new canvas replacement.
When a customer sends an old tent in, the first step beyond writing up the order is to spread the old tent out and take measurements. I have an expert that will measure everything out, do sketches, make notes of how things need to be cut, what the finished sizes need to be. In some cases they do make a partial pattern of different intricate parts. If necessary, take the tent apart so they know all the angles of each seam. And after that, the order goes to our cutting department. They cut the different pieces that are needed, the window vinyls, the zippers, the canvas flaps, the vinyl pieces, the roof panels. And then it goes through our sewing operation where the different pieces are put together into a unit, and then the final cut down is done to make sure that the final dimensions will be correct for that camper. And then it's sewed together and inspected, put in a box, and shipped to our customer.
We're seeing more and more tinted vinyl windows lately. Is this becoming a standard, or are clear windows still the norm?
Vinyl windows that we use a high quality 12 gauge, that's 12 thousandths thick, extra soft, so it does not crack in cold weather. And it's normally we use a dark smoke tinted. The dark smoke tinted vinyl windows started in popularity in the late 70s, early 80s. Most companies use the dark smoke tinted in their new campers, and we have that, and that's what we use the most. Some companies like Coleman stuck with the clear vinyl windows, and we do have that in stock also, and it's customer's choice if they would prefer more light, we can use clear, or if they would prefer the slightly additional privacy and a little more tinted, we have the dark smoke tinted.
Once we order our new canvas, what is the normal wait time before delivery?
The lead time that we have in our shop for new orders is generally about 4 to 6 weeks. During the busiest seasons of the year, obviously that stretches out when we get orders in faster than they, in the one end faster than they go out the other end. That lead time can expand to about 2 months. We try and keep it at 60 days or less. If we need to work a little overtime, if we need to add some extra people, we'll do that to try and maintain at least no more than a 60-day lead time.
Do you recommend a dealer install the new canvas, or is that something a trailer owner can do himself?
Pop-up camping trailer owners are generally pretty resourceful. They understand their unit if it's one they've owned for a while. They understand how it goes up and down, how the canvas tucks in, and if they've had to remove their old tent to send it to us for patterning purposes, they're pretty familiar with how it goes in. So I would say most people can install their own. We're happy to advise them on that. We enclose with a new tent some generalized instructions on what they need to do to install the new tent and get a good fit on it. It's a lot of people do like to have it professionally installed, and in that case they can take it to any number of RV or tent and awning shops that would be happy to help them with it. They can order it through any RV dealer or tent and awning shop, and we'll be happy to ship it directly to their dealer.
With a new canvas, is it recommended that any water repellent or sealant be put on it?
A new tent from Canvas Replacements is already waterproofed at the factories. I mean, the materials we use are all water repellent when we get them. We do not recommend putting on Canvac, Scotch Guard, or anything like that when it's new. It's not needed. We don't recommend it re-waterproofing until symptoms of leakage may show up in 5 or 10 years. If the waterproofing is wearing out and the canvas is starting to get wet spots on it that are soaking through, then it's a good time to probably put on a quality dry water repellent treatment. We sell IOSO brand products that are good for that. They have an excellent water repellent spray that it is easy for the consumer to apply to fabric, canvas, and such. We also stock a complete line of seam sealers and other things that may or may not be necessary over the years for maintaining your canvas.
Bob's very proud of his employees, with most of them being there for many years. But there's one special person Bob leans on most for inspiration and direction.
My father, who founded this company, is just turned 95 this summer, and he is in fair health, and he's in the office just about every day, looking over my shoulder, making sure that I do things right, opening the mail for me, and he is a member of the RV Hall of Fame and has been around this industry for over 60 years. Back in the early 50s, my dad built a home-built camping trailer for our family to use, and that camper led to him, because people saw that camper and really liked it and wanted one like it, he started building pop-up camping trailers called the Easy Camper in 1957 in Loyal, Wisconsin. The original camper that he built for our family has been fully restored and is on display at the RV Hall of Fame Museum in Elkhart, Indiana. My granddaughter and I built a model of that camper for a high school project for her, and she gave it to my dad for his birthday about 4 years ago, and it's on display here at our office.
For additional information on canvas replacements, be sure to visit their website at canvasreplacements.com. Coming up after the break, we'll join Britta and her guest in their cozy little trailer as they show us a delicious Polish stew that just seems perfect for a nice wintry meal. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back. Exciting, great things do come in small packages, like exceptional quality, extreme comfort, and luxurious appointments. You'll find all this and more wrapped up in one beautiful package. The Pleasure Way Pursuit. See for yourself by visiting pleasureway.com.
Hi, I'm Britta from Trailer Chicks, and today I have one of my dear friends and cooking soulmates with me, Maria. We work together and we love to cook together, and she's here to show us how to make an amazing traditional Polish stew with cabbage and the fall bounty of apples, onions, carrots. Why did we choose to make kapusta? What do you like about it?
Well, this is my favorite authentic Polish dish. It's something my mom made every fall and winter. It warmed us from the inside out. We didn't have to have many ingredients. All the ingredients are seasonal, and it's a one-pot meal that feeds a lot of people.
So let's get started. So we're going to start out with pork, and this is a free-range, antibiotic-free pork from Oregon. This is the butcher's stew cut.
Like I said, it's this easy one-pot meal, so we're going to put the pork on the bottom. You don't even have to brown it, just let it sit on the bottom.
That's what's so great about this. It all goes together. So next, what do we have here?
Yeah, in here we have a chopped head of cabbage, one chopped onion, and one carrot peeled and grated. And this just goes right on top of the pork. All of that. Use every bit of goodness here. Here we have 1 pint or 16 ounces of sauerkraut. This has been drained and the juice is saved, and we just rinsed it lightly and squeezed it dry. And this we'll add right on top.
So we saved the juice for seasoning after. If you wanted a little more tart, you can add back the sauerkraut juice. So that's, save it in a little bowl for later. And
the last ingredient is a nice fall apple. We have a Honeycrisp here, local to the Northwest. I think one of the most delicious apples.
Yeah, it's tart and sweet and really crisp. But wherever you are, you can use your favorite apple.
So we just add the whole apple.
And do we have to stir this, or?
No, we can leave it just like that. We'll just add our seasonings, and then we're going to go ahead and cover all the ingredients with water and let it simmer for 45 minutes. So our seasonings are some white peppercorns, about a half teaspoon, or you can just eyeball it. Then we have some allspice. These are the whole allspice berries.
What if you didn't have allspice, or you just had black pepper? Could you do that?
You know, this is a dish that you don't even need any extra seasonings. There's the nice salt in the sauerkraut. You can just add a little bit of salt and black pepper at the table, and you've got one delicious meal. If you have these extra seasonings, caraway seeds are really nice.
I love caraway.
And you can go ahead and, I like to be generous on these. Maybe a couple teaspoons of the caraway seeds.
It goes really well with the rye bread that we'll eat this with.
So a couple of bay leaves, always nice for the broth. And all we do is cover the ingredients with water.
Already smelling so good.
And just give it a little stir of the vegetables on top. The meat can stay on the bottom. And we're going to cover this and turn the heat up and bring it to a quick boil. Then we'll uncover it and let it simmer for 45 minutes, and you've got a meal ready to feed a crowd.
Perfect. There we go.
You know, in Polish we say smaczna. That's good. Good soup.
Smaczna. Maria, thank you for coming and showing us how to make this incredible soup in a small space, something that I think everyone can make. Make a little extra, have it in the freezer, and you're set.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me today. It's really fun to pass on my mom's recipe to everyone, and to cook with you again.
I know.
And see that we could do it in this beautiful small kitchen.
That's true.
Any size.
Thank you. To find this great recipe and more tips on living fabulously in a small space, go to trailerchicks.com.
We hope you enjoyed today's show, and if you'd like more information on canvas replacements or anything else you've seen on the show, along with additional video and stories, visit our website at rollingontv.com. For the latest up-to-the-minute RV news, visit our media partners at rvbusiness.com.